Hey besties, happy Sunday, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to chime in on a topic. I want to tell you all about my luxury weaknesses. This is a video that I saw a fellow YouTuber create, Poola, with a touch of luxury. She essentially talked through her luxury weaknesses. Mine are not really the same, and that is why I wanted to talk it through. Because essentially, I feel like all of us, probably you too, you have a weakness when it comes to what you like to buy. I mean, for example, my father, he buys cars, right? My mom, she also collects sparkly and shiny things like I do, right? You probably collect something, maybe you collect blazers too. Spoiler alert, that's one of the things. But I want to talk you through those kind of frivolous things that for some reason I can't hold myself from buying. So guys, let's just start talking about this. The first thing is two brands that in general, like everything they do, I just find chic, polished, cute, cool, elevated, all of the above. And it's Hermes and Cartier. Hermes and Cartier, for a lack of a better word, have a chokehold on me for some reason. Like whatever they do, like I said, it's just chic to me. Like, I'm obsessed. So basically, I have some goodies to show you because eye candy is fun, right? This is my Cartier handbag. My Cartier handbag, I mean, essentially, this is one of those things that I feel like is undervalued on the market at the moment. So if you're interested in a Cartier little kind of, you know, Bordeaux colored bag, go maybe scroll Investor Collective. I am not liable for any luxury weaknesses that start after this video, but essentially, I mean, we're not only gonna talk about handbags in this video, but I mean, you cannot mention Hermes without talking about the Birkin, literally. Hermes handbags in general, so chic. Cartier handbags, who would have known? So chic as well. I recently bought this one and just, I mean, these are just everything. So cute and so chic. So, Hermes and Cartier, whatever they do, whether it's a handbag, whether it's a chic little silk scarf, one from Hermes, one from Cartier, clearly obsessed. Whether it's jewelry or watches, here we have a Cartier vintage Santos Galley Bay watch. We have an Hermes Click H bracelet. Especially when things are vintage from Hermes and Cartier, I am just simply obsessed. It's a weakness of mine, especially when I can find something at a good deal on the pre-loved market, then I cannot be accountable for the purchases that are made because it's just a weakness of mine, okay? Let's pivot before we enable anyone to buy anything from Hermes and Cartier because we don't need more enabling. Okay, the next one I already alluded to. Let me just move out these things out of the way. But essentially, something that I find so wearable, so useful, so like elevated and chic in my wardrobe is something that I'm sporting exactly currently, which is a blazer. I am obsessed with blazers, essentially. They're so far away, but I reach them because I have long arms. Blazers. I have like 40 blazers at this point. It is definitely a weakness of mine, but it's a weakness that I think makes sense in a way. Because a blazer, you're not buying the same blazer every time, right? You're creating new style opportunities with the blazers that I'm buying, right? You're creating when I'm buying. We are creating when we're buying. I wanted to show you some of my favorite blazers for summer. This is a new blazer to my collection. I showed it in a little bit of a new in my wardrobe video. This is a Max Mara 100% linen blazer. Oh my gosh, super chic. Do you see those pearlescent buttons? So cute. A linen blazer is just a staple in my wardrobe that I would not want to live without during the summer. Here we have another linen blazer with a silk lining. This is a vintage Armani blazer. Just simply obsessed. Similarly with the blazer that I'm wearing currently. It's also a chic blazer that I'm wearing in the summer, which is a little Brooks Brothers boucle moment. Blazers are just everything to me. Like I said, they're kind of my safety blanket in a way. I didn't say that, but now I'm saying it. They're kind of my safety blanket, right? Because a blazer, anytime I put it on, I feel good, I feel put together, I feel like it's a good outfit day. you know? And when you can buy a single item and it becomes a good outfit day, in my mind, it's, I mean, girl math is girl mathing, you know? So essentially, blazers is a weakness. Should I say more? No, probably I should say less. So let's move on from my 40 blazer. This next one will not come as a surprise to anyone, but it's cashmere everything. I mean, everything cashmere I am just like a moth for. If there's cashmere, if there's softness, if there's something that's like, you know, wearing cashmere feels like a hug, and sometimes you just need a hug, and then it turns into a cashmere sweater collection. Okay, it's one of those also. Like I said, it's practical. It is luxury because of, I mean, essentially the types of items that I'm buying, like with the blazers, right? It's not, I'm going to Zara and just buying the simple blazer. No, I'm curating the high quality, kind of designer-ish blazer or cashmere sweater, right? And I mean, to me, it just feels like a luxurious moment. Luxury doesn't always have to be buying a Birkin, right? A luxurious moment for you can just be wearing a super soft cashmere sweater. I have this cashmere sweater that I'm literally wearing on a weekly basis. This one is from Lily Silk. I am obsessed with this. It's one of those that you just wear underneath everything. It goes fabulously with, for example, my little blazer right here. Do you see that color combination? So cute. Another one of my favorites is this Nicole Miller New York little cashmere sweater. It's a 2-ply cashmere, so it works brilliantly to just drape it across your little shoulders in the summer. Maybe not with this outfit, but you get the vibe. Lastly, my Brunello Cucinelli cashmere sweater we have here. I mean, these are just examples. I have literally a collection of too many cashmere sweaters, but cashmere sweaters to me feel luxurious wearing them. It's also one of those things that's just, it goes with everything. It's keeping me warm. It's a weakness of mine. Anytime I see a cashmere sweater that's in a color that I feel like I look good in and that it's in a cut that I feel is chic, then nothing can stop me if it's a reasonable deal on that cashmere sweater, you know? Because a different cashmere sweater for every day in winter to me makes sense. Because all I wear in winter are cashmere sweaters. In summer, I wear those thinner cashmere sweaters, especially draped over my shoulders. So I think cashmere sweaters, I cannot make this video without mentioning cashmere sweaters. Right, it makes sense. The next one is truly a weakness of mine. I think if we're talking about anything of this being a weakness, then yes, the Hermes and Cartier vintage stuff, definitely a weakness. But also cute but impractical footwear. I mean, if it shines, if it sparkles, if it's cute, if it's a nice color, like I am there. I'm like a moth to a flame when it comes to cute but impractical shoes. I have one pair here to show you. I mean, essentially, I have 4 pairs of Manolo Blahnik shoes. Do I need 4 pairs of Manolo Blahnik shoes? Considering my lifestyle? No, definitely not. This is irrational. This is impractical. I am still obsessed, and I cannot promise anyone that I will not buy more Manolo Blahnik shoes if I find some that are cute and in a nice color, you know? So these are clearly impractical, and they're clearly giving like weakness vibes, you know? Because who needs a pair of green sparkly heels? Probably not a lot of people, you know? But I've worn them, they're cute, they're chic. I am super happy to have heels like these though, because once in a while I have an event, I have something that I need to dress up for, and in those scenarios, having a wardrobe that's full of sparkly things is just an asset, you know? So I think for my lifestyle, it's not impossible for me to wear these, right? So they're not an unreasonable purchase, right? I'm trying to defend it for myself right now, as you can see. But essentially, heels that are impractical but cute, definitely a weakness of mine. I think a lot of us girlies can relate to this. I mean, when a shoe has a little sparkle, it has a little Manolo moment, and everyone goes back to the Sex and the City kind of vibes, right, with Carrie wearing these. I mean, it's just a vibe that cannot be explained, but these are a whole mood, essentially. A mood and a half. Impossible to explain, but I adore these. As we're putting away these Manolo Blahniks, The next thing, essentially, is something that I think a lot of us handbag girlies can relate to as well, and it's black and brown handbags. This was one of those things that Poola discussed as well in her video. Not brown bags, but I think only black bags. I mean, a chocolate brown handbag, I cannot be held accountable if a cute chocolate brown handbag comes my way. Because a chocolate brown handbag, in my opinion, it's super wearable. It's super cute. It goes with everything. Same with black handbags. I have a plethora. Let me just put this away because the tissue paper is being loud. I have a plethora of dark brown and black handbags. I clearly showed you a black handbag earlier. You've clearly seen my dark brown Hermes Evelyn. That's in that espresso brown color. Obsessed. I think you guys are also kind of obsessed with that one. When we're on the topic of dark brown handbags, another dark brown handbag that you guys are positively obsessed with. Deandrea, I know you wanted to steal this one when you did a video about stealing influencers' handbags. I want to steal this one too from my own collection. That's how obsessed I am with this one, literally. This dark brown handbag I've had for so long. It's literally going so strong as well. I'm just simply obsessed. A dark brown handbag, just with this outfit, a dark brown handbag could be super cute. Same with black. Black handbags are clearly a staple in everyone's wardrobe. If you watch one of those, these are the 10 handbags that you should start your collection with. Everyone will mention a black handbag. This one is one of those that usually is mentioned in those videos, if I recall correctly from watching some of those. This is a Saint Laurent Sac de Jour black handbag, right? This one has silver hardware. It is in croc embossed leather, so it's giving a little bit of like edgy, if you will. It's giving a Reputation. It's the Reputation era bag, in my opinion. If you're not a Swiftie, disregard. But essentially, black and dark brown handbags, to me, are just stylish, chic. They go with everything. They are a weakness of mine, like seeing, I don't know, that, for example, that dark brown Hermes Evelyn, I could not be held accountable because that was a good deal in Vestiaire Collective. I could buy it vintage and it was just super chic, and a dark brown handbag, like I wear that one so much. I'm just looking at my collection. What other bags do I have? We obviously have the two Chanel bags. I have one in black and one in dark brown. Case in point, case closed. But for this year, right, beyond the kind of black and dark brown bags, I've actually focused on kind of broadening my scope a little bit in terms of handbags and colors. I mean, for example, this one, the Cartier bag. I have two Cartier bags now. Or with my Luciano Soprani navy blue bag, I'm currently borrowing a dark green, should I show it to you? A dark green Bulgari bag from my mom. We'll talk about that in another video. But essentially, just broadening my scope a little bit in terms of colors, because I feel like my style was a little bit limited because I kept buying the same kind of bag over and over again. For example, with the Mulberry little dark brown bag and the Hermes Evelyn, I mean, those I can essentially wear in the same outfit. So those are just competing for that outfit or competing for my attention, right? I've kind of broadened my scope. I've changed my mindset a little bit in terms of what I'm buying to my wardrobe, and that's one of those things, right? I feel like it's fine to have a weakness in terms of what you like to purchase. Like I said, everyone has it, even my dad with the cars and stuff. So I think having a weakness in terms of something that you like to buy, probably in the luxury space, that's fine. We're all human, right? But focusing on diversifying what you buy, essentially, to make sure that you create the most style opportunities that you can, I think that is what we need to focus on. Because like having a proof of concept in terms of what you buy, I think that's great, because that helps you kind of lean in more to your style, right? Versus just experimenting and buying everything and you don't know what works for you and stuff like that. No. That's not what we want to do. I think buying into what you already know and what you already like, that's great. But focusing on not collecting that item, right? Not collecting, oh, I see that Hermes bag in black, I need it. But actually, do you need it? Is that item, that black Hermes Birkin, is that creating a new style opportunity? Versus the Saint Laurent Sac de Jour. Could these be worn in the same outfit? Probably. Do I wear them in the same outfit? No, because I need to find outfits for both of them. But essentially what I'm saying, right? When we have these luxury weaknesses, I think viewing it in terms of, if I buy that thing that is my luxury weakness, is that thing that I'm trying to buy, is that creating a new style opportunity for me? If I have this Cartier bag, is that creating a new style opportunity for me? Yes, it is, because I don't have a Bordeaux colored bag and I feel like I'm craving it in my wardrobe because I feel like it would go super well match with my Hermes Click H bracelet in maroon that I'm wearing all the time already. And you know, it just kind of spirals a little bit. You get inspired to create new, interesting, unique outfits in a way that maybe buying another black bag or another sparkly pair of shoes or another silk scarf maybe wouldn't do, unless it's vastly different to the items that you already have. So just trying to justify having luxury weaknesses because I think everyone has them. Essentially, it's all about the approach of going about buying these luxury weakness items, right? I think if you're focusing on, yes, looking out for your luxury weaknesses, because clearly they are our weaknesses, but thinking about it in terms of, I am lacking this type of style of item in my wardrobe. I mean, if it's a cashmere sweater, maybe I'm lacking a navy blue cashmere sweater. Maybe I don't need to buy another white cashmere sweater now that I have my lily silk one, for example, right? It's about creating that variety in your wardrobe, enough variety to be kind of happy with the different types of outfits that you can create, right? I think that is a whole different chat on itself, and we do not have time for this because we've been chatting for like 20 minutes already, but I will have another chat with you guys on this because I think it's worthwhile having a chat about how we create style opportunities and how we stop kind of focusing on buying that specific item without having a plan for what we want to do with it in our wardrobes, right? Because I think buying things should ultimately help us create better style. And when you do that with a little bit of a thought process, I think that's easier. So we'll talk about that in a separate video, not today, but keep your little eyes peeled, I guess, and we will talk about creating more style opportunities in our wardrobes in the future, in the near future, I should say. Guys, thank you so much for coming with me on this rambly luxury weaknesses journey. I truly enjoyed having this chat with you. If you have some more time to spend with me today, I will link another video right here in case you've not already seen it. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you enjoy these chats with me. I will see you back here next Sunday at 3 p.m. Swedish time. And until then, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.